Welcome to TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans, by wrestling fans, on the web today. I'm John, that's my court and commentary Ashton, and this is our NXT review. And I gotta say, I was a bit mixed about tonight's show. I think there were some things that I really did like. Hit Row being chief among them. Oh my god, can't wait to have a little gush session about that. But there was also stuff on this show that I gotta be honest, I really just either didn't care for at all and had a visceral reaction to negatively, or was just like, I like where this is going, and I'm glad that it's continuing, but it's a bit weird how they kind of addressed it, sort of thing. So, yeah, I felt kind of meh, ultimately, I think, about this NXT, even though there was some good stuff on here. What about you, though, bro? How'd you feel about tonight's episode?
Fairly similar. More good than bad, but still some bad. We'll talk about it.
All right, let's get to our first segment. Heat of the night. You're goddamn right, Abel, just to address that straight away. And I'm just going to start here with, I'm going to work up from my nitpicks to just stuff that I absolutely hated. You guys already know the grime stuff, so I'm not going to rehash that here because I went into that, I think, last week. I don't really like how they handled Candice and Indy tonight. Like, I like that Index is still a thing, right? But I feel like they completely downplayed that Candice more or less lied to Indy when Indy found out about it. Like, Indy isn't stupid. You know, she's not the Austin Theory of the group, right? She put two and two together because, you know, they go and they get a spa treatment and Candice is putting it on her card and card gets declined. You know, they do that whole bit. And they're like, oh, it was a purchase from, 3 weeks ago. Flowers and chocolates. Did you buy any flowers? And Candice has the reasonable reaction. She's fine here. She's like, oh, no, I don't remember. But, like, really panicking and denying it and this and that. And then he's like, oh, Candice, was it you that got the flowers for Ember and Shotzi, or was it Dexter? And, like, Candice, and, like, she really wants an answer. And then when Candice's silence more or less gives confirmation, I'm thinking, oh, man, this is a really fascinating dynamic. You've got two people in the same faction, a faction, too, that, like, goes for that family feel. Like, yeah. Candice has said, Indy's my daughter. You know, they go deep with it. And not only that, but you're tag team champions, so it's like it's half yours. So like you're two opposing self-interests, like I want a love life and I want to be a champion, and there's somebody at the epicenter of both, and it's like there's a conflict, and I'm like, this could be really fascinating stuff. And Indy instead, and I'm not saying they can't go here later, this is why this is just a nitpick and not an fuck everything. But I was really surprised that her reaction wasn't even anger at Candice, but it was more like happy, like, oh, Candice, this is actually great news because Dexter still loves me, Candice. Isn't that wonderful? And she just races off. And I'm like, so we're not going to fight about it. Like, yeah, Indy is 100% right. Dex is still into her because actually, in the first vignette they did, they were talking about what a loser Dexter was, probably because Indy just wanted to get over him and, be an insensitive feelings herder. I've been there. I get it. And Dexter is the one kind of massaging her temples because she's getting kind of like a facial massage.
Yeah.
And so, that was a bit weird, but, I guess if it's a Dexter character, all right. And yeah, I'm just a bit surprised, man, that they didn't go, I think, for the obvious reaction of, before even realizing that Dexter's still in love with her, Candice, how could you lie to me like this? Because that was a big deal. Like, Indy was really torn up about that. Yeah. And I'm just wondering, just saving that for later. Again, though, man, I do want to stress it was just a nitpick, but I want to know how you felt about that before we go into your potential heats of the night or nitpicks.
I see where you're coming from, for sure. It's not really something that I thought about in the moment. I was more just elated that Index wasn't as completely dead as I thought it was.
Right.
But you are right that it doesn't really make sense for Indy to only feel happiness in that moment and not feel betrayed by Candice.
Yeah.
So if she and Dexter do find a way to make amends, which after tonight is not a guarantee, because Dexter, probably has self-worth and probably doesn't want to be with someone that called him a loser. We'll see.
Yeah.
But if they would happen to make amends and end up giving it a shot, I would want to see Indy maybe throw something back in Candice's face or something.
Yeah, we'll see, man. That's why, again, it's a nitpick, because I am thinking, like, obviously... Because here's the thing, too. That was only the first deception that Indy learned about. She doesn't even know that Candice hid the picture that Dexter Loomis made for her.
Yeah.
And I kind of blocked him at the door. So as it mounts, it's going to be like, okay, well, I fixed things with him. Now it's time to address things between you and me.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that's where they go. But anyway, enough from me. This is a two-person show. So... how about you? Do you have anything you want to air out? I'm guessing you do, so
yes.
You go to the floor.
Yes. 3, actually. I've got a full roster tonight, so it's, I guess, take a deep seat. The first one is really, it's something that I've maybe spoken negatively about occasionally before, but not really something that I've ever really harped on before. Tonight, I feel like I need to harp on it. Vic Joseph is fucking trash at his job. He is actual garbage. He's closing in on Josh Matthews territory for me.
Oh, damn. All right. You want to elaborate on that? Like, what was it just in general?
Well, yeah. I mean, really, it is kind of in general. But to specifically point out the things that I dislike about him, the Josh Matthews factor is that it really, really sounds like he's trying way too hard to put on a professional commentary voice. And it's like he's faking it, like that fake deep voice, like Josh Matthews became a meme for, basically. But the worst thing that he does, and it's one of those things where I'm sorry to everyone who thinks they like Vic Joseph, who I'm about to ruin Vic Joseph for. But Vic Joseph has this thing that he does every single fucking time. And again, once you start to notice it, you can't unnotice it. So if you want to like Vic Joseph and you don't want to be enlightened to the truth, close your ears for the next minute, because you're not going to want to hear this. He does this thing where every single time a big move hits, he doesn't call it. He just raises his voice. He just fucking shouts. And it'll be, instead of saying Tony Storm with the Storm Zero, it'll be Tony Storm. He just shouts it. He doesn't actually say the name of the move. He doesn't call much. He just, whenever a big impact happens in the ring, he just yells along with whatever he was saying. It's like fucking Rick Sanchez, except instead of burping, he's just raising his voice.
Yeah. Here's the thing, man. I'm more with Abel that I don't really mind Vic Joseph. I don't really take mind of him much. In fact, it's funny you mentioned commentary, because I was thinking, shockingly, I think Barrett, obviously we've already talked about how great he is, but I want to add personally, I love the dynamic he has with Beth Phoenix. I think he's made Beth Phoenix better by being in the booth.
I agree with you on that. I really do agree with you on that, dude. I think that he has made Beth Phoenix better. But the problem is, they're both color. We need a good play-by-play, and Vic ain't it right now. I don't know.
And see, to address your concerns head on, even though, again, I don't really mind Vic, I'm more in the Abel camp. Where the hell is Tom Phillips?
I'll tell you exactly where, dude. Get this. 205 Live's commentary team is Tom Phillips and Nigel McGuinness. Are you fucking kidding me?
How did those two get so... I mean, no offense to Foster here, because I know he's a huge stamp for the product, but to me, that's a demotion for both those guys.
Dude, huge. Huge. Literally, in my mind, Phillips should be the Raw play-by-play guy.
Yes.
But even if you don't want him on Raw, apparently this Nick Khan guy that's up at the top of WWE now, that's running the business side of things, is trying to put his guys, in hard quotes, in certain positions, and he wanted Adnan, who is supposed to be one of his guys, to get this shot. So that's a him call. But even then, put Tom on NXT and keep Vic on 205, where no one needs to listen to him if they don't want to.
Dude, I love Tom Phillips on play-by-play. I know when Morrow's kind of thing, we're all
here's my thing. I even like Wade Barrett. I think Wade Barrett's cool. He doesn't bother me that much most of the time, and he provides some really genuinely funny jokes, and he provides some really good insight most of the time. But to me, I would trade Wade and Vic for Tom and Nigel 100 times out of 100. Every single
Oh, absolutely.
The fact that those two guys have been relegated to 205 Live, to me, is blasphemy.
Actually, I agree with Abel here. Apparently, first of all, Tom Phillips might have gotten a huge promotion backstage, so good for Tom, I guess, personally. But Yeah, when I really think about the announced teams, the best one really is Cole and McAfee. Like, I even went back and I watched Reigns Cesaro.
Well, I think you can make an argument that the best one is Nigel and Tom right now. But as far as like stuff that we actively watch, yeah, it's definitely Cole and McAfee.
Yeah, that is true. Because I don't watch enough 205 Live, but I'm just assuming with those two guys together, it's probably fucking stellar.
I mean, yeah, I just watched 205 like a week or two ago because it was the NXT debut of Alex Zane, and you know I'm a fan of his. And I watched it, and I'm like, wait, these two guys are seriously the commentators for this show? What the fuck? Why would they be wasting them on this rather than having them be somewhere that their voices can be heard by more people? Like, you know, NXT, where we have a very clear and obvious weakness on the commentary team at the play-by-play position, and they're still not using Tom there.
Yeah. Yeah, I can sympathize with you on that, man, for sure. I've always been big on commentary, you know that. I think commentary was a huge reason I actually got into wrestling, because you need people to sell you on it. And obviously I grew up with like JR King and you know, Cole and Taz. Those were my announced teams. So I'll always believe in the importance of a good commentary team.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we'll ever get one that's truly, like, again, in the WWE system specifically, if we'll ever get one that's like, that shit fucking hits.
Again, I feel like the last one that we had that was anything close to that was when we had Tom Byron and Graves in NXT altogether.
Yeah, I completely, because that seemed like a perfect balance, and that's come from somebody, I really can't stand 3-person booths. I think I've gotten acclimated to it because WWE just insists on it, but yeah. So anything else you want to say about Big Joseph?
No, tonight was like my breaking point. Tonight he annoyed me more than he ever has before, and I just had to say something. Second heat and actually, do you have multiple heats of the night, or am I the only one with more than one?
Well, I did want to go again if you didn't mind.
Yes,
unless you wanted to go again. Please. Dude, I gotta be honest, and maybe we even share this one. Fuck everything that wasted all of our time with Alexander Wolf, Killian Dane, and all this bullshit.
Oh, dude, truthfully, that wasn't going to be a heat of the night for me, but do you want to know why?
Why?
Because I wasn't paying fucking attention while it happened.
Yeah, dude. Maybe I wasn't paying attention either. And let me explain what I mean by that. Maybe I missed, and this is me being charitable, and please, chat, call me out. You're all intelligent people, and you're all fully capable of that. Did I miss something here? Because I thought the whole story was, Imperium's going to be stronger than ever, and Alexander Wolf, I felt like, was going to kind of oversee it, and they were going to try and poach anyway. Dane and Thatcher, well, the Thatcher part really got dropped, and so too did my interest. And then tonight, he does this fucking match with Killian Dane, which I already didn't care about, but I'll be honest. I was low-key curious to see Alexander Wolf in singles, because it's just fucking been a minute, I feel like. And it wasn't even bad. They even had one great spot that I even kind of like arched an eyebrow, like, that was pretty good with the German suplex on Dane. It was an impressive visual. Then you get Bartel trying to get a chair in the ring, telling Wolf to use it, which, like, I get that they're heels, but I also thought was funny because they're like, the mat is sacred. So when you bring a foreign object into the mix, aren't you disgracing the mat? And they don't seem like the hypocritical heels, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, they'll maybe take liberties, sure, but they really do believe in their technical prowess.
Yeah.
So Wolf finally decides, because it seems like he's internally debating with himself, all right, I'm going to go for the chair. Dane gets the crossed body, and by the way, this also just kind of confused me because Maverick is still wary of Dane. Like, he was falling behind him in the entrance tonight, still thinking that Dane's going to turn on him. He gets the win, and then afterwards, Wolf, who I'm expecting to be the one to be pissed and just be like, guys, what the hell are you doing? We're Imperium. We don't need steel chairs. We don't need this. Match sacred. All that good shit. And then Bartel and Eichner attack Wolf.
Yep.
And they leave him behind. So, like, I'm sorry. Maybe this is just unjustified anger. But again, we have this segment for a reason, right? Who gives a fuck? I hated this. I feel like my time was wasted because what you sold me on was that we were going to get a revamped Imperium, maybe even better. God knows if they would have poached Thatcher, it would have worked out. And now you're still as weak as you were, and now you've actively diminished your own numbers by excommunicating Wolf, which I'm not going to cry over, mind you, but just kayfabe-wise, it's like, okay, well, how are you going to fill that deficit? Because, like, honestly, at this point, I'm just really ready to see Bartel try a singles run again, and we already know that Walter's a fucking beast, and he's a made man, whatever the fuck he wants to do, and Eichner can just go into 205 Live and just go away. It's just my feeling. Like, to me, Imperium is a dead concept. Either revamp it or kill it, because Walter doesn't need it. Like Walter's an attraction unto himself.
Yeah.
And Bartel hasn't even benefited from it. They were tag team champions, but I guarantee you want to talk about commentary to kind of bring that back. If commentary didn't remind you every now and again, you probably would forget. Mm-hmm. And I don't say that like, blaming anybody, because I would too. It's done nothing for anybody. My time was wasted. Your time was wasted. And I just hated this fucking match tonight. And it's been a while since I've been this visceral. But I just had to get that off my chest, dude.
No, dude, I appreciate it. I appreciate it because, like I said, I checked out. Like, I even... There was a point on this show that... And it might have even started with this. Was it? It might have been. Yep, it was this. This was I checked out to the point that I didn't even know who LDF beat on the next match.
Now, see, Foster, being the beautiful, intelligent person he is, brings up a point that makes me a smidge, not nearly enough, but a smidge more charitable to this. He said, I think it was kind of a reference to Wolf not wanting to cheat against his former brother because of, sanity, and Imperium seeing that as a weakness.
Right.
Okay. But maybe they should have hinted at that beforehand, Foster, as my counter.
Imperium isn't necessarily known for cheating in any way. Like, Imperium isn't like, oh, if you want to be a part of this group, you have to be willing to cheat, even if it means cheating against someone you respect. Like, that's not an Imperium value at all.
Yeah, and Foster even says that immediately after in the chat, and we all agree. It is weird. Yeah. And, you had Wolf, because I believe it was Wolf that even said to Dane, you're not the monster you used to be. And this and that. So, Wolf was antagonizing him. There was never any point where Wolf was like, hey, man, think about how you and I used to tear it up, and we could do that again. Just leave the, even if they wanted to make a joke about Maverick, leave the Munchkin or whatever. But, I never saw any segments like that. Maybe I'm not remembering, right? But, I never saw that. So while Foster makes probably the most salient point in this whole conversation, NXT should have made that point, and they should have made it emphatically. Not just in one segment where it took him to tell me put the pieces together. I don't know. Fuck everything about this. But anyway, passing the baton back to you, good sir. Tell us what else you got.
Yeah. All right. So let me... I have two other ones. I'm trying to decide what order I want to do this in. I think... I really want that one to be the last thing that I talk about. So I think for my second one... God. Do I even really want to make this a full-blown heat of the night? I don't know. All right, I'll just start talking and we'll see how it goes. So, I really, really, really hate that they had Swerve announce that he's going after the US title, or after the North American title, I should say, on literally the night that they dashed his dreams about winning it.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so that's what made you pissed. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. Let me ask you, are you sure, given how dominant Top Dollar showed himself to be tonight and with Swerve packing that heat?
If it was Top Dollar going after North American Championship, I wouldn't be as doubtful, but it's not. It's Swerve. And that's my problem, because I don't think that WWE or NXT sees big money in Swerve the way that you and I both do.
Yeah, that's totally... I can't even fight you on that. That's 100% fair. That's 100% fair. So, you're just thinking, the moment Reed won the title, immediately after Swerve...
Dude, if Johnny would have retained tonight, I would have been in such a good fucking mood to start this. I would have been over the moon, because I would have been like, Swerve's winning the North American title. It's set in stone. It's happening. It's going down. Swerve's winning the damn thing. But with Reed freshly having won it after a relatively long chase, I put the odds at maybe 1,000 to 1. That's...
Oh, damn. Yeah, man. Now I understand. Because, I've been a huge fan of Johnny Gargano's work, so I thought we were kind of talking about that level. I wasn't ashamed, Johnny kind of lost it this way. And we'll get into that later. We'll get into that aspect when we actually talk about the main event. But seeing it from your side, I can totally understand why this would leave you pissed, because it's just wow, you've got Hit Row, which is fucking awesome. And you think that they're getting ready to, gear up, do big things, all that. And then a tsunami happens, and in Gargano's case, literally, because, he got crushed by it tonight. Yeah, I see where you're coming from, man. I'm far more understanding of this.
And by
one
the
than
way,
Big Show's one.
just to clarify, because Paul said, "Oh, is it really a heat of the night if you're not sure about it?" I am certain that I hate it, for sure. The thing that I'm not sure about is if it's worth me talking about on here, because it is a very subjective thing. And I try to not to complain too much about things that aren't, like, in my opinion, objectively bad, or as close to objectively bad as I can get. Like, I
Yeah,
really don't. I really don't want to be up here just airing my own personal grievances. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's I try more to point out things that I see as just being things that are bad for business, or stuff that could be done better in certain ways. And like with the Vic Joseph thing, I feel like they're losing money by having him be the voice of the fucking company, or at least the voice of the brand, I should say. But with this, I don't know if it's a bad money decision. I just fucking hate it personally, like on a very personal, biased level, very subjective level. I fucking hate that they just completely destroyed Swerve's dreams, and especially because we've seen Bronson Reed versus Isaiah Swerve Scott, and we've even seen Bronson Reed versus a heel Isaiah Swerve Scott, and that is a fucking. I mean, I'd say a monkey on Swerve's back, but it's more like an elephant on Swerve's back.
yeah,
And
yeah.
realistically, um, baby faces are more likely to be the ones to get the overcoming the guy that you could never beat for your first championship trope. Swerve sure as hell ain't that.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So to me, like I said, I think Swerve odds of actually winning the North American Championship within the next 6 months or so are slim to none.
All right, because again, the only other thing I didn't like was again the grime stuff, but we've
Well,
already
that
been through
was
that to
my that
death.
was I was saving that for my third heat of the night was the grime stuff.
Oh, okay. What do you have to say about it? Because I know we've already talked about it, so I'm curious.
Fuck old people generally. Just fuck DiBiase. Fuck whoever in NXT thought that this was a good decision. Fuck the idea that this is going to be good for Grimes in the long term because he'll get the $1 million championship. No offense to you, because I know you were rooting for that last week, but I think I talked you out of it. Like,
Yeah.
I hate everything about this. There's nothing about this that makes me think like, oh man, Cameron Grimes is winning the world title this year. No, like it's just not happening. I feel like he's dead in the water right now. I feel like he either needs to get called up or he needs a complete reset to restore any sense of fucking integrity that this character might have once had. I I just hate it.
I kind of made a promise to myself when we resumed reviews that, like, if we were going to revisit something, that I would at least try and say something new. And I think the new thing that I can add to this before we move on is you can mark me as a guy that officially believes that if Grimes gets called up to the main roster, he'll probably have a better run there than he's had on NXT.
I agree. I
And that
completely
honestly
agree. Yes.
shocks the shit out of me.
I don't necessarily expect. See, here's my thing. Before this storyline, I saw Cameron Grimes as a potential NXT champion, a world champion, like
Yeah.
literally the biggest prize in all of NXT, and as a guy who might even be able to flirt with the WWE championship one day. Because of this program, I feel like if Grimes would ever win the NXT championship, it would be a fucking godsend. I feel like the odds have significantly decreased, but I'm not completely out of hope. And I feel like he will never be more than a mid-card guy in WWE on the main roster.
I just want to add to that on my side of things, you know for a fact, or I don't know if you remember this conversation, I do. After the North American Championship ladder match that Grimes was in, that Damian Priest won,
Yeah.
and we were rooting hard for Grimes. The promo he gave afterwards to Mackenzie Mitchell, saying that one day he's gonna fuel the rocket ship up and he's gonna go to the moon. He had to sell the pain, but like I told you, it almost came off as a very babyface promo. I saw Daniel Bryan levels of over with him as a babyface in the future.
Yeah,
And
I saw that as well, but now what the fuck are they doing? That's my problem.
I don't know, man. And I will say this, if he's going to stay in NXT, and I can't believe I'm saying this because I thought they would do it eventually. I just didn't think it would be like the break glass option, right? Is scrap this shit and like give him a fucking face run. Let's take it back to basics when he was Trevor Lee in PWG, working his way up the card, but do it like obviously in NXT. Because I'm telling there is like a Daniel Bryan like energy about him in that way.
Absolutely, yeah. Like his talent, I think, screams like Daniel Bryan type babyface. But bro, they are just not interested in pushing him like that at all.
I really don't understand why. You know what I was thinking?
We're gonna get a good reason why.
You know what I was thinking to myself, like, watching this shit tonight? Because you already know I didn't like it, and you took the ball this week, and that's fine. So I guess I'll just comment on this, kind of piggybacking off your heat of the night. Seeing him do the stuff with DiBiase and losing to fucking Jake Atlas, no offense to Atlas, but it's like, what the fuck is happening here? I'm like, wow, you know...
Dude, I even had a problem with the length of the match. I felt like the match went too damn long. I feel like Jake Atlas is the type of opponent that Grimes, the bell should ring, Grimes should hit a mushroom stomp, and it should be fucking over.
Like, Cameron Grimes, to me, is going to go down for me as the greatest workhorse, like, comedy wrestler we've ever had. Because this dude can put on bangers, but he's a comedy wrestler at the same time. Like that's what NXT is telling me. When they do the whole thing,
NXT is presenting him as, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and it's fucking wild, truthfully. Brother, is everything all right on your end as far as like OBS and all that stuff? Because we have people in the chat commenting that the video keeps crashing for them, and like when it's more than one, it's
that.
Well, because Foster said,
yeah, I saw that earlier. I don't know what was causing it, but I did see it earlier. If it happens, just refresh and you should be fine.
Oh, okay, just checking in there.
I'm not entirely sure what's causing it, but yeah, just refresh.
But yeah, like I think I just said everything I need to say. Like, they're presenting him as a comedy wrestler that can fucking go. And, like, it's so weird. It's so weird. Because, like, I'm still thinking about the match he had with O'Reilly only a few weeks ago. And now he's doing this shit. Like, they really don't know what frequency they want him at, dude. Because here's the thing. If they want him explicitly as a comedy wrestler, do not tickle me when you put him in the ring with Kyle O'Reilly and you have them go, like, what seems like 15 minutes in the main event of NXT. Like just don't do that. Just don't do that, because then you're mixing your message. If he's going to be a comedy wrestler to you, keep him doing this shit, even if I'll hate it, at least you're honest about it. So, I just wanted to insist on that point, because then it'll get redundant. Is there anything else you want to say?
No, I don't think so.
Alright, then let us get into our NXT review. And we get kind of the opening narration of everything going down in NXT. Then we open with Toni Storm versus Zoe Stark. I'm gonna level with y'all at the risk of being TMI. I was in the bath watching this, and obviously with my glasses off, I really couldn't make out much of this match. I did go back and watch a little bit of it when it got put up. Not bad, seemed very physical, good back and forth. Stark got a good, almost like backwards enziguri, not quite a Pele to Toni at one point that I thought looked nice. Turning point of the match, I think it was like Toni got, what was it, like a Cactus Jack knee or something into the steel steps on Zoe Stark, kind of messed Zoe up for the remainder of the match. The big thing the commentary put over was that, Zoe kicked out of a strong zero, double arm underhook powerbomb that Toni does. And Toni, she sells the disbelief, but then she immediately gets focused, and she hits a new finisher, and that's really where I want to hand the baton to you, bro. What did you think of Storm's finish?
It reminded me of a Jaeger bomb, like Martina's Jaeger bomb that she does, but it's like a lifting version of it rather than like the flipping version of it that Martina does.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. In fact, thank you for bringing that up, because I was trying to think of how I wanted to articulate that maneuver. But I do like it.
For those of you that don't know, Martina, Session Moth Martina, has her finisher is called a Jaeger bomb, and basically she gets her opponent in almost like abdominal stretch position where she's got the one arm behind her leg, and then she's got the other arm like wrapped around her arm, and then she flips over them in such a way that it looks like she's landing in almost like crucifix pile driver position. And that's pretty much what this was, but instead of flipping over to Zoe, Toni just lifted her up and slammed her down like that. It was just a more simplified version of Martina's Jaeger bomb.
Yeah, I will say, I know we're just kind of like, yeah, Toni Storm, she's solid, but we don't really get like ecstatic about her or anything. But that finish made me pop. I'm not gonna lie, I saw that. I was
who else uses that finish that actually lives up to the hype of the finish itself?
Who's that?
Saki Akai.
Oh, cool. All right.
She's fucking awesome, and she makes that finish work. Because, well, she's the one that's super tall, too. She's like 5'10". So imagine someone that big, that tall, flipping over someone like that. Yeah, it looks amazing.
And Toni Storm doesn't really get to revel in her victory because she gets interrupted by Frankie Monet. And
did you see fucking Abel in chat? I don't know if y'all know, but I am a big fan of Toni Storm.
Oh, yes, Abel, we knew you, precious
Tony,
little son.
I feel like Tony turned heel on the likes of Abel and other very thirsty boys tonight by wearing pants instead of shorts.
Yes. Yeah. So I love how they've been building up Frankie, because her debut is next week. And, yeah, Toni Storm was not happy. Dude, God, it's such a weird position for NXT that I wish I knew what they were going to do, and obviously we're going to have to wait and find out. Because you have Raquel with the title, and she's been a pet project, right? And you don't just get rid of a pet project easily. But by all accounts, Frankie, in my mind, should have a meteoric rise to the title. Yes. Like, the way they have built her up, dude, it's like, if she's not wearing that title, yeah.
I was agreeing with you, but I wanted to hear what you were going to say.
Well, no, I might be hyperbolic here, and forgive me if I'm being hyperbolic, but in my mind, if she's not wearing the title in even 3 months, I'm like, that just seems a bit off to me, because they've really built her up. But the thing is, like, I know that's not going to happen, because I don't think they're going to discard of Raquel like that, you know what I mean? So it's just a really weird coming together of everything. So, like, I'm self-aware that what I'm saying is just not going to come to pass. But because, you know, we are in the Raquel era, very begrudgingly, I might add. But Frankie was fantastic again tonight. I cannot wait to see her in the ring next week. Did you have anything you wanted to add to that?
I was just going to say that to me, and I've been saying this for a while now, actually, Frankie is the perfect woman to be the one to beat Raquel for the title, because realistically, if you take Frankie away, take her away as an option, who in NXT would stand a chance against Raquel? Knowing, in my opinion at least, now John, you can disagree with me, anyone in our audience can disagree with me, in my opinion, Saray is good, but she's nowhere near the power level, and she probably won't be anywhere near the power level for a few months of Io.
Oh, I completely agree with that. In fact, since you only broached Saray, I want to say very quickly that her match with Aaliyah tonight was the first time that I think they really got Saray right since she's gotten
agree.
Here.
I thought this was Saray's best NXT match, believe it or not. I agree with you.
Yeah, because they really were able to showcase her. Like, Aaliyah was
props to Aaliyah, man. She's gotten so much better over the last few years. I remember she got fucking... she lost a qualifying match to be in the one Mae Young Classic to fucking Tay Conti. And now, I haven't been keeping up with Tay on AEW. I know a lot of people really like her, but damn, Leah has gotten so much better at what she does. So, yeah. Dude,
she bumps and sells her ass off. She should have been Saray's first opponent from the jump.
She and Liv, I think she and Liv Morgan are like the biggest success stories as far as women go of the Performance Center, personally.
Yeah, and I can't wait for the... I was going to say ladder, because I feel like you mentioned Liv, like, after Aaliyah. Hopefully one day she has gold to show for it. Jesus Christ. Yeah. But yeah, man. But
anyway, the point that I was trying to make, if we set Frankie aside, there is no woman in NXT that stands a chance against Raquel, knowing that Io already ran through the whole fucking locker room, and Raquel basically destroyed Io. There's no one. So it's either Frankie or you're fucked.
I don't know why I thought you were going to say it's either Frankie or your face. But
I should have. That would have been so good. Oh
you would have killed me right there. We wouldn't have been able to do a review. Oh, God.
You would have died on the spot. God, I really regret not doing it. I mean, you wouldn't have literally. You know what I mean. Just keep going.
Yeah, but no. And, dude, here's why I think you're right as well, which I know is one of your favorite combinations of words in the English language. Is that you can...
Call me out right in front of everyone, thanks.
I really just did. Is that you know they're turning Raquel face. Because they're doing the tease of, like, her and Dakota breaking up.
Oh, yeah, they're definitely breaking up, like, as soon as next week.
Yeah, yeah. So with Raquel going babyface, which... Oh, really? It just makes
They're
Frankie
gonna
all
turn
more
her
likely.
babyface just long enough for her to drop the title to Frankie, lose the rematch, and get called up as a face.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, because of that, I agree with you completely. Like, to me, Frankie is hands down the next NXT Women's Champion, and that's going to be a reign that I will delight in because they've done a great job with her, like, interacting at every level of the division. So when she gets that belt, like, everybody's going to want to give her a receipt.
Dude, oh my god. You just made such a great point. I don't even know if you realized it. I feel like they have treated the debut and sort of introduction of Frankie Monet almost like they would treat it if, like, the boss's kid was taking their spot and leapfrogging a bunch of people in a company, and they just, like, come in one day and they're just like, oh, hey, nice to meet you. I'm going to be your boss from now on.
Yeah.
That's the way that they've introduced Frankie. She just comes in and immediately is like, oh, hi, everyone. Hi. Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm your next champion. You're going to be challenging me soon. It's good to see you. It's nice to meet you.
But she is to me, because I'm trying to think about heel champions specifically in the history of the NXT Women's Championship. I mean, Sasha was the best one by far. Yeah. Frankie, though, and I say this tentatively, knowing where I am, Frankie maybe could give Sasha a run for her money. Because, like, she's just got that personality and she's rubbed everybody the wrong way that everybody, dude, is going to want to chase her ass. Yep. Like, I really feel like she's going to have an amazing heel reign. I'm rooting for her so hard. Like, so hard. So, yeah, really glad we got that positivity. Frankie, we love you. We can't wait for you to be champion. Anything else you want to say?
No. I'm just looking forward to the inevitable reign of Frankie Monet.
No, absolutely. Good sir. Then we get LDF talking facts because they've earned the fucking right. Yes. And they put the interview. I'm sorry, I'm coming in very aggressive. I think it'll be apparent to everybody why I'm so aggressive in just a few moments. And the interviewer's like, "Where's Santos?" Okay, we all want to know where Santos is, but you know whose business it isn't? Yours. Okay, so slow your roll there. First of all. Second of all, LDF handled this with aplomb. They said, "Don't worry about Santos. You know, focus is on us. We're going after MSK. We're going after the tag titles." And again, they're spitting facts. You know, they got a fall victory over MSK. I believe it was in that 6-man tag where Kushida got fucking wrecked and this and that. You know, it's been good shit. And then the boomers happen because they hear young, hungry talent talking. And they've obliterated the line between ambition and entitlement. And they just have to voice their opinion. Now I'm going to hand it over to you, Ashton, because you're an intelligent, reasonable man, and I can concede. Definitely healthier than I am mentally.
Thank you.
Why, I need you, as again, somebody with a functioning conscience, to tell me why boomers should keep their voting rights. And why, honestly, they should keep their right to an opinion. Make that case for me right now, if you could, because I honestly, after this shit,
why are you asking me to argue the contrary to my own belief? I don't understand.
And see, there
this is like if I was on the debate team and we were debating the fucking flat Earth, and I drew the short straw and I had to defend it.
Yeah, and see, people, you might be thinking, oh, did you just invoke Ashton as a license for your own ageism? Yes. But I feel completely justified in doing so, honestly.
Listen. We've had this discussion playing Rocket League before. Ageism implies unwarranted hate towards a certain age group. There's nothing unwarranted about hating boomers.
Yeah, you guys really fucked us over. And as the guy that's
not only did they fuck us over, they're fucking proud of it, too.
They really are, dude. It's disgusting.
They're like, oh, you think you got fucked over? Oh, maybe you should try working harder.
Oh, God. And I know you were going for that. I'm just picturing them rubbing their nipples while they're saying it, and it's doubly gross. It's doubly gross. But
oh, man, you mean, global warming. Oh, too bad it's not even real. Oh, and if it was, you probably deserved it. Oh, man.
Oh, look at that ice melt for totally unrelated reasons.
Everyone knows that that's just a normal process that the Earth goes through every couple hundred years. Get used to it, lib.
God, get out of your echo chamber and read some Ben Shapiro.
Read some Ayn Rand.
You want to keep doing this for the rest of the show, but no.
We should probably try and wrap this thing up soon because apparently people are having trouble even hearing us.
Oh God, yeah. Let's zip through this. So yeah, actually, we can zip through this because just fuck Ciampa and Thatcher. They challenge LDF, and that's enough of that. I was going to go more into it, but yeah, if the stream's giving them trouble,
we
just got to get through this. Yeah, and they lost. You lost like fucking losers. So fuck you. And you know what, Timothy? I didn't want to say it about you because I actually like you. But as long as you associate with this piece of shit, I'm sorry. You're just gonna have to get it too.
I hear there's an opening in Imperium. You could probably get that spot pretty easily.
Do it. Save the group. And by the way, since we're actually talking about that, just tie up that loose end. Thank you, GYV, which includes the superior bald fuck inside Gibson.
Holy shit.
Because, let me tell you, sir, you being a part of that double team, as I have oral sex with the microphone, was fucking delicious.
Oh, God, I'm so uncomfortable right now, please.
So after that...
Stop!
So after that, we get Grimes, Jake Ellis. Are you gonna live through this?
You're telling me you're the one that has my life in the palm of your hands.
Oh my God, it's the power I've always wanted. But we get Grimes, Jake Atlas. It sucked because everything in this timeline sucks. After that, Candice Indy, already talked about it. Balor Cross, Prime Target. Who gives a fuck? We stand you, Finn Balor. We love you so fucking much. Grime Atlas match. Fuck it. Bronson Reed promo. Fuck it. Pete Dunne interview. Weirdly calm and like, oh yeah,
Dunne is a way better interview than he is a promo.
Yeah, like, why? So we don't know what, what's gonna happen, with that. I guess he's just gonna pick a champion to challenge, I suppose. Wolf Dane, fuck it, we already talked about it. Dakota and Raquel and Everrise, I know we're trying to wrap this up, but I will say beg pardon?
I said seeds fucking planted.
You're goddamn right, you magnificent farmer fuck. And also, I will mention
that I hate farmers.
Yeah, and I will say, and I can only say this because the stream keeps crashing and nobody will hold this against me except you, and really, I had it coming anyway. This was the first time I've actually enjoyed Everrise.
Same. Yeah,
especially them ragging on Dakota, I thought was genuinely fucking funny.
It was funny. Yeah, it was.
More of this, please, and they weren't yelly about it, dude. They were just like, talky, passive-aggressive. Yeah, perfect. Like your face, so that's also perfect. And so, yeah, first time I've ever enjoyed Everrise, bro, and it honestly feels good. Like, if this is what they could bring to the table, then I'm starting to see things Foster's way. And so, yeah, let's move on.
They're still boring as shit in the ring, though.
Yeah, that's a shame. LDF, Thatcher, and Ciampa, already talked about it. Bobby Fish, fuck you, Robert Pisces. And you know what? Actually, we're taking the name back. We gave it to you. We're taking it back. You don't deserve it.
Yeah, he really doesn't. He hasn't earned it.
Yeah.
We gave him an opportunity to be entertaining, and he squandered it so hard.
You and that deceptively impressive mustache can fuck off, sir. Yeah. Indy Candice segment again. Already talked about it. Johnny Gargano's promo. Again, the honestly interesting thing to me, and I wish we could get more into this, but fucking YouTube. He does mention laying out Karrion Kross. For anybody that can hear this, I told Ash before we went live, my prediction, Swerve Reed for the North American title at TakeOver in Your House, and I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they do Gargano Kross for the NXT Championship, because I feel like Johnny did such good work with the NA title. Yep. I would not mind him moving back up and challenging for the world title at all. Like, honestly, he'd probably be the most entertaining thing to happen for Kross's reign in that particular moment in time. He'd do good stuff. Aaliyah versus Sarray.
Plus, I mean, if that would mean that we'd get to watch Kross absolutely fucking obliterate Austin Theory a few times, I wouldn't mind that either.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree. Aaliyah versus Sarray, we already touched on that enough. Ember Shotzi promo, it was fine for what it was. We know they're coming for a rematch, and I think even next week that they're facing Raquel and Dakota Kai.
Yes. Dude, this promo was bad. This was cringe. This was peak cringe.
You know what, dude? Like, for me, I mean, you're right. You're right. I just want to get that out of the way. I feel like sometimes the
Thank
way
you for
these two
saying that.
talk.
I'm starting to sweat a little bit there. Okay.
I'm always here to give you assurance. But no, like, I know this is going to sound weird coming from me, but the way they talk to each other and they interact, I feel like, man, these guys would have killed it in the 80s. And that's both, like, definitely an insult because we're so far removed from that. But, like, I don't know. There was a place for their talking style, and it's just
Well,
not
I was
going
to say, yeah, the 80s in a bad sitcom.
Yeah. Yeah. And so after that, we got another Diamond Mine vignette.
The acting, I'm just saying, before we get to the Diamond Mine, the acting between Shotzi and Ember in this made Full House look like it deserved a fucking Oscar.
Oh, God. And this is coming from somebody that actually likes Full House. Oof. So... God damn it. Okay, Pterodactyl jumped out a little. All right. So, Diamond Mine vignette. Really nothing to say here, dude. I'm just really excited to see, like, a date. I guess I'm kind of getting into that you territory where it's like, show me fucking numbers in a certain sequential order.
Yeah. Represent the month and the day of this year that these people will be showing up.
Do it or be a mark. I don't really give a fuck which.
Do it or screw it.
One of us needs to simmer down, and I'm actually going to say me first. So, Hit Row, God, dude, I know we're rushing through this, but Hit Row deserves the world. Top Dollar, let me tell you, dude, I don't know how old this dude is. I don't know if he came in late like Batista did, but I got major Batista vibes from him, just in the sense of, like I say about Himeka, you've got the personality and the ability. If this dude ever has a singles run, he's 30, not bad.
31, just turned 31 like 2 weeks ago.
31, coming in a bit late, obviously, but you know what, though?
Dude, same age as Batista, though. Batista started wrestling around that same age.
And you know what, dude? Like, I'll keep it to NXT.
The comp is still alive, baby. The comp survives.
Yeah, oh my God. Wow, is this what it's like to be you, to be so on the nose about something?
Dude, yes! That's exactly what it feels like to be me with, like, college football players all the time. I do that shit so often.
Oh, yes! Yes, I did just do an air thrust, and I apologize to no one.
I heard it! I heard your hips! I heard it!
But no, dude, just keeping it strictly to NXT because that's where we are. I honestly feel like this dude could win the NXT title. Like,
yeah, dude, if fucking Bronson Reed can be a North American champion with as little personality as he had, Top Dollar can be NXT champion for sure. I mean, give it a couple years. Let him get really good in the ring at least, or at least better in the ring. Because he's not bad in the ring. He does some cool stuff in the ring, but there's still quite a bit of refinement to go.
Oh, for sure. But, dude, even his talking already, like, you can tell he's got that gift for gab.
He got bars. He got bars.
Yeah, he's got bars, baby, for days.
I would like it. I would like it if he did that, and then you had Ashanti go after the Cruiserweight title and Swerve with the North American title. I would like that a lot.
Yeah, for sure, dude. I think, honestly, I agree with everything you just said there. William Regal backstage, he's talking about the title pictures, and that's where he does mention Raquel and Dakota versus Ember and Shotzi next week. I feel like Raquel and Dakota are losing this because, as you said earlier, seeds fucking planted. So now they have to get the sunlight. So yeah, that's totally happening.
And watered.
And watered, yes! Because we're hydro homies in this bitch. Reed versus Gargano main event. Not a bad cage match on its own merits. I just don't think we either don't like, or we're just kind of, oh, okay, like that's going to be the aftermath as far as like everything surrounding this match. So that's that. High spots, low shots. I'll keep it real simple. Low shots, obviously, Johnny Gargano. He was the only guy to lose the championship tonight. Who's your low shot?
Yeah, that's true. My low shot's Indy Hartwell because she, had a big emotional discovery that she reacted to completely emotionally inappropriately, and she may have lost her man along the way by insulting him without you realizing that she was doing it, like in front of him.
It was a rough night to be indie wrestling. Let's see, high spots. God, who do I want to go with here?
John's just thinking anyone but Reed.
Yeah, because usually when I take one low-hanging fruit, I don't like to go for both, just in case you want to take one. I like to be considerate that way, at least. You know what, dude? Fuck it. I'll say LDF is my high spot. Because even though they got assisted by GYV, I mean, they've definitively staked their claim now. The fucking Boomers got put in their place.
Well, they do have a tag title shot now coming up in a couple weeks.
Exactly. Much like Father Time will put the Boomers in their place, LDF did that tonight. So, yeah, LDF's my high spot. Who's your high spot?
Well, honorable high spot, since you didn't mention them, to Hit Row, because holy shit.
Oh, yes, dude.
Great showing tonight. And then I will give my high spot to Bronson Reed for his win.
All right, there you go. All right, guys, with that said...
champion.
Absolutely. Again, if a low shot is, the only person to lose a title, high spot, necessarily the correspondence to that would be the only guy to win a title tonight. Mm-hmm. So there you go. With that said, guys, this has been NXT. This has been TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans, by wrestling fans, on the web today. I'm John. That's my corner commentary, Ashton. Guys, God, they're only, well, okay, now there are 3 people here. Somebody came back. They're like, wait, I still believe. Oh, and they left. Be sure to subscribe, click the bell icon for notifications so you don't miss any of that TWitWoW goodness. Be sure to like the video as you file out. I almost didn't want to say it because, again, we've got a perfect 1-to-1 ratio right now. But the more likes you leave, the more likely we are to be the top search result for NXT reviews on YouTube. And when you're the best at what you do, the top is the only place that you belong. So please leave that like. Be sure to check out everything we're involved in the description box. Big thing, obviously, is the TWitWoW Patreon. You can see our offerings and our price breakdowns at the Patreon link. 2 big things I always like to plug. Additional Q&A questions for $1. Currently, non-Patreon donors only get 3 Q&A questions. But if you donate $1 to the Patreon, you participate in our Q&A, which is the last Thursday of every month. And so this month is going to be May 27th. You get 2 additional questions for a total of 5 Q&A questions. And that's a great deal. I think the best deal we offer, though, is for $3 a month. You not only get the additional Q&A questions, but you get access to the TWitWoW Discord. Great community of people. There's memes. There's political discussion. There's Among Us Mondays. We do it fucking all, guys. So if you're not a part of it, please do consider donating $3, getting it on the Discord. Be a great time. Beyond that, follow Ash and I both on Twitter. My pinned tweet, and I am at John_TWitWoW, by the way, is to collect Q&A questions. So if you're thinking, oh man, my first Q&A, now where can I put all these questions? I have got you covered. That's what my pinned tweet exists for. So just be sure to tweet at me with your Q&A questions, preferably all in one tweet. Don't space them out like a mark. Ashton, at Ashton_TWitWoW. His pinned tweet is very important. I would say the most important from where I sit, because he posts our schedule for every month. So obviously we are in the month of May. So let's just go through the rest of this week, shall we? Do you think we're still going to be on for that 5:15 Stardom show tomorrow? Or do you think that's probably not going to, because everything got backlogged, right?
No, everything's going to be moved back a little bit. We might be able to do Stardom on Thursday. We're definitely going to do Stardom on Friday. And if we can't do it on Thursday, we'll do it on Saturday instead.
Fair enough. All right.
So basically put it this way. Friday is a definite Stardom day. And then the other day is either going to be Thursday or Saturday, depending on when they get it up.
And those Stardom reactions, guys, will be at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Again, Thursday.
If it's on Saturday, we'll do them at 7.
Yeah, 7 for Saturday, 5 for Thursday. But Friday is definitive, so you can join us Friday at 5 for Stardom. And as far as WWE goes, in the aftermath of WrestleMania Backlash, we'll be reviewing SmackDown at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. So that's the schedule for this week. Thank you guys very much for tuning in as best as you could. Fuck you, YouTube. You're the absolute worst. And as we sign off, guys, be sure to be good to yourselves and each other. And until we see each other again, tune in. Peace out.